Hey everyone, Cyril here. It's Friday night. Videos normally end on Saturday night. We're kind of a little off on skew because of being shut down and not having parts. We got parts last night before last, Wednesday night. Got the next steel that I'd ordered, which wasn't a lot. It's a few little pieces that I got to try to put in before I can get accurate measurements for the next stuff. So we are loading up the truck. I'm going to go down to my buddy's place in Bonnie Lake. It's about an hour and a half south of here. Do a little bit of welding over the weekend. I don't know if it'll be Saturday or Sunday. And we're going to try to get the bottom framework onto this compartment set up for the tool chest. I took measurements today so I can figure out where and how that's got to set. Went down to Harbor Freight and laid on my belly on the floor for a while, or my side. I'm going to try to get some angle brackets across the sides here, which will define where the upper side of the wheel well, floor of the compartment sits. And then I can get accurate measurements back to the ramp trays, because it has to fork around that back to the back wall. So to form out a proper wheel well. So that's what we're going to look on trying to get in this weekend. And then that's probably about it, and then bring the truck back. So it's a few hours of setup and welding and stuff, not a whole lot. And then I can get measurements to try to get those rear wheel wells built. That would be awesome if I could have those done before we leave here in September. And I'm waiting on the framework for the other side that lays out the doors before I do anything further on that side, because I need to make sure that my floor is below that bottom lip for the door, and that, you know, if I'm off a 32nd of an inch, it can make for a nightmare to put that in. So that's all going to wait until after I have the framework, and then it'll get built to the framework. So little pieces, slow steps, but we actually will have something for you this week. So enjoy, and when I get to it, I will bring you back. Hey everyone, made it over to my friend's place so we can work on the truck again. I think this will work pretty good, other than I'm taking his time, which I have to be very sensitive of, because he has important things going on in his life too. Anyway, we're going to try to get the bottoms into this compartment. I've got everything laid out. I'm doing a lot of the primer work ahead on it so that I don't have to try to lay 4 inches off the ground to paint it and prime it, keep it from rusting. So we're getting some of that set up and letting it dry, and then get the other one out, get it to the same point, and then we'll look at getting those welded in. I think I spent about an hour this morning getting them laid out where I want them. Pretty sure they're there. We'll find out for certain later. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I'll bring you back when I have some more to show. I've got the first one semi-welded in, at least tacked enough to hold it clean and straight. Now we're going to get the second one in, get it where we want it, and then we will work on getting it fully welded. Well, this is what I've got so far. So these are in. My spacing's actually looking really good on these, and they're holding pretty clean. Still got to weld all I have is the outside edges welded. So I've still got to weld inside all the way around and down. That's where most of the support for this will come from. And then from there, I can prime it. And then move back to the back sections, because this then will be waiting on a back wall and a floor, and I can get the measurements for those. So that is where this goes. So says the fine print. All the measuring I did at Harbor Freight. Says there will be a bolt at, find it, 1.5 inches, 4 1/4. Maybe we come down a little bit. And then over here at 18 and 20.5 or 20 3/4 or something like that. 17 3/4 and 20.5. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so those will end up working well. Very delighted with that. So, got to keep moving. Got lots to do today to get these few things done. Well, that's everything for this week. So we got that piece welded in. We'll do a little cleanup on it at some point. I can do that down by the campground. I can drive over to that spot I found, work on that, do some cleaning, some painting. That is defining the height of the floor for the wheel well, or ceiling for the wheel well, whatever you want to call it. Floor for the compartment over the wheels, ceiling of the wheel well. And then from that I can figure out where I've got to come, what measurement to notch around these. So that's that side. Here's this side. Blood smear. One of the things I'm finding as I get older is tore up my arm, and all I did was brush against the top of one of these clamps, which is not sharp, but the skin is now getting so thin it doesn't take much. Anyway, so this bottom's in and welded. Once the back wall's in, that should be amazingly rigid. The spacing off of here is really right where I want it. Might be a little bit of adjustment when the back wall goes in, but all in all it looks good. We still got a warp here that it does pull out. Not exactly sure why it warped. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. Not sure if I'm going to try to pull that out when I do the outer skin and then weld it. The door I think will be over about 1 inch, the opening. So if I were going to do that, I would have to figure out how I'm going to clamp this, get the skin on, weld it, take the clamp off. It might be doable. I'll have to think about it. Might require putting something on the inside here that's straight and then clamping around the skin. And then maybe I come in from the back side and weld so that it holds it straight. Then we put our 3-inch inside liner for the door in. Same thing over here. There'll be a 3-inch liner that comes in 2 or 3 inches in. I'm not sure exactly where yet. I'll figure that out when I get to it. But at the moment, I'm happy with this. I can order the piece for the floor, look at getting it in. I can order the piece for the back wall, look at getting it in. That'll have that side about as far as it's going to go, probably before we leave. And then this side, I need to get this bracket that makes up these doors ordered and put in before I try to do the floor and that. So, and there's a little bit to do, but all in all, not that much. This should come out pretty nice. I'm definitely happy with how it's coming out. Oh, I see I got steel under the truck to pick up. Anyway, I'm cleaning up. I think we're done for this week, other than might go out tomorrow and just do a little bit of cleaning the welds and painting. Again, up by the campground. I don't have any cardboard with me. I want to paint these, by that cleanup, so I want to touch up these welds and make sure they're smooth for the sheet that's going to go here. And then paint this. I'd like to get cardboard in behind it so I'm not painting the tank. So, nothing major, pretty minor, but definitely something I want to work on. Alright, so for this week, that's it, and we will see you guys next week and let you know if we have any materials to be able to work on anything. Next week's 4th of July, so we may just take it off and relax. Alright, that's it. See you guys next week.